All right, so here are coins that I'm going to flip. By the way, these are the U.S. state quarters from the 2000s. For example, here's New Mexico, and there's Hawaii. And let's see if I can see it. Oh, there's Louisiana. All right, so instead of flipping them, I'm just going to put them in this bag here. And you don't have to do it this way. You can just use the simulation. But I just happen to have 30 quarters, which of course makes sense since I'm preparing these lessons. So go. Right, and then personally, I would have to count them here. I see Idaho over here, and then of course I would have to count where the heads are and so on, but that's just for me. You can use the simulation. And I just noticed that I actually do have a Smurf of a coin. All right, really straightforward on this website here. And choose 30 coins, select the coin type. More or less obviously I'm going to go with the German euro, interestingly enough, as I can find an East German mark, which was from communist East Germany until 1989. I cannot find the West German mark, or the unified German, so I'm going to go with the German euro here and flip the coins. And now I would have to count the heads and the tails, and of course you would have to do that for your try as well. And by the way, of course, they're all here. All right, so let's go on dice here. So I don't have as many dice as I said in my instructions here, and so I'm just going to get those that I have here, and I can actually do in my hand. The coins, they would have kind of like all stuck together or something, and then I would have to count here how many ones, twos, threes, fours, and so on I have. And then I would have to do it several times because I only have 10 dice here. And again, you actually don't have to do it this way, but you can just use the simulation. All right, so go to this website and then increase dice, and then this little slider here just gets a little out of hand. If I click this one here, well, let's see if I get to 60. Okay, I have to go scroll down anyway, and here we go. Get 3 off. There we go, 60. And now count the total, which is 60, of course, and count how many ones you got: 2s, 3s, 4s, 5s, and 6. Really straightforward, of course. And I also have a card playing Smurf. And these are all from my childhood. I'm going to put them over here in the corner. So I'm going to shuffle these cards here. And actually, I think the jokers are still in here, and I must have shuffled them here. Okay, what do I do with the jokers? Oh no, I already took them out. Never mind. Never mind. I took them out. There they are. All right, so I got 50 cards here. I'm going to deal myself these hands here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's see we have a pair or not. There we go. There's actually a pair, 2 9s. So all right, first one. And then I'm going to put these 5 cards back here. There we go. And shuffle again. 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's see, here we go. All right, got another pair here, 2 queens. And again, put them back in the stack, shuffle them again. And of course, you can do that with playing cards, but you can also just use the simulation, which is somewhat quicker. 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. Let's see what I get this time. Okay, so this time I actually didn't get any pair in here. All right, and it's kind of what you do with the simulation. All right, so go to this website and then click on a few things here. By the way, from this particular one, on this website, there's nothing to record. So this is just playing a little bit with it. So this is about different poker hands. And here's a hand. So here we go. Look, there's a pair right here, which is actually, by the way, what you're supposed to look for. And notice there's the first one coming in here. NH stands for no hand. Here's 1 pair, 2 pairs, 3 of a kind. This is straight. this is a flush, this is a full house, and then back here you have a royal flush. By the way, I don't play poker either, as I keep mentioning. I don't gamble because I know the odds. Although poker is an interesting game. It's not just gambling, but in the company of a few people, really it's the best ones that win. So it's not completely a game of luck. It really isn't, I think. So anyway, having said that, you can click on one hand here several times. I guess I have to close here and you can look at that. And there we go. It puts that in. It gives you a new one here. Again, the most likely ones are the no hand or the one pair, by the way. You can click on 5 hands and it does this. And yeah, no hands mostly. And I can do that again here. And then you can click on any one of these columns here. For example, this one here, and then you can see, okay, I'm going to view this particular one. Okay, that was the 2 8s, or I go here and I guess the 10th time that something was dealt. Here are the one pair, so 2 of a kind, so 2 kings or 2 8s or 2 2s, that kind of thing would be the one pair, and that's what we're looking for. And now I'm going to give you in the neighborhood of what the odds should be. So I'm going to reset this one here so we can get out of 1,000, and it's doing it, of course, really quickly. And you're looking for this here. Notice that this is a little bit more than 400, 431 runs it happens, so it's 43%. The theoretical probability is around 42%. And then, of course, it would list all of these here. And here's 1, 2, 3s, and here's another one. Oops. Here is another one. 2 aces, that kind of thing. All right. And yeah, you're not looking for these others here. Notice that, wow, royal flush didn't even show up. Here's a straight, by the way, but again, you're not looking for it. There's only very few of them when being dealt. So here's one. And I can see here 10, jack, queen, king, and ace. That would be a straight of different suits. All right, so again, from this one, actually, you don't record anything. So now I have to find the one that you actually do record something. Oh, here's one from Wikipedia. So here it should say somewhere here, oh, this is really small, I noticed this. Where did it go, where did it go? I have to scroll down quite a bit. There it is, there it is. So here you have 2 pairs. I'm sorry, 1 pair. 1 pair is what we're looking for. And here you have, for example, 2 5s right there. And the theoretical probability is about 42%. All right, so now let me show you which one you actually have to do. It's this one here. So here, play this, what did I say, 10 times. So clear and, oops, put in here 5 cards. There we go. Draw. Actually, I'm not going to count this because that is 3 of a kind. I'm supposed to count when there's only 1 pair. Okay, so the first one was a fail. The second one, nope, also a fail. The third one is, of course, just for me. Okay, so far I had 3 fails, right? Okay, here's my first pair. Okay, and not this one, and this one here. Ooh, that's actually a straight, isn't it? But again, we're not looking for it. And there's a pair, so I count that one, and then here's not, and I actually forgot how many it was. There was a pair. All right, so really straightforward to count these.